Hey, thanks so much for tuning into the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth. Today is Motivational Monday. We're going to conclude this week on the book of Ruth. We see here at the concluding chapter 4, that Boaz was on a mission, and that mission was to take care of Ruth, to make sure at whatever cost it is that Ruth is being taken care of, that she will be redeemed. We talked about that last Sunday, not this past Sunday, actually yesterday. We talked about the church's mission, Shrewsbury Assembly of God. Our mission is to draw people into a growing relationship with God through Jesus Christ. It is who we are, it's what we do. Everything is centered around that. Jesus is the center of everything that we do. And we want to provide environments to draw people into that growing relationship with Him. So we are going to be focusing this week on Ruth chapter 4, and I'll be reading the first few verses of Ruth chapter 4. It says, "Meanwhile, Boaz went up to the town gate and sat down there, just as the guardian redeemer he had mentioned came along." And so if you can remember, Boaz is a guardian redeemer. He is a close relative of Ruth. However, there is one other person that is closer. And so he comes and gathers this group of witnesses just as this closer relative of Ruth comes in. Boaz said, "Come over here, my friend, and sit down." So he went over and sat down. Boaz took 10 of the other elders of the town and said, "Sit here." And so they did. And then he said to the guardian redeemer, and this is again the closer relative to Ruth, he says, "Naomi, who has come back from Moab, is selling a piece of land that belonged to our relative Elimelech. I thought I should bring the matter to your attention and suggest that you buy it in the presence of all of these people who are seated here, and in the presence of the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, do so. But if you will not do it, so let me know, so I will. For no one has the right to do it except you, and I am next in line." And so Boaz is on a mission here, and he goes to this closer relative, and this is before, now in chapter 3, remember that Ruth goes to Boaz and says, basically, "Will you marry me? Will you redeem me?" And he sees her heart, he sees her integrity, and says, "Hey, don't worry about a thing. I will make sure. I am on a mission here." And it's so important that we have a mission. It's so important to understand that God has a plan and a purpose for you. See, Boaz knew it. Boaz understood his position, understood his place, understood that he needed to redeem Ruth at all costs, even if it was losing her. See, he built up that relationship. He trusted her. He saw the integrity and the character that Ruth had. And so he started to have feelings for Ruth, but he was like, you know what? There is someone that's closer. So I'm going to make sure that you are redeemed, whether it's myself, which he obviously would want that, or if it's this other closer relative. God has a plan and a purpose for you. Let that be a motivation. What is that? I shared yesterday at church that our mission as a church is to draw people into a growing relationship with God through Jesus Christ. You have a plan and a purpose. God has strategically placed you and has gifted you in certain areas in your life that you can further His kingdom, that you can represent Him well. So may that be a motivation today. Go to God and say, "God, how can I be used by you today?" Hey, thanks so much for tuning in today. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for another Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth.